Alright, should be live. Yep, we're live. Hello everybody. How you doing? It's your boy. Just gotta wait for a few people. Better get the stream out. Oh, it's good to stream on my own for the first time in quite a while. But you know, I'm a bit rusty. I've been dealing with the podcast for a while, and all the other two were on holiday. I was going to stream yesterday on my own. I was planning something special, but it never happened. But oh well. But it doesn't matter. You've got me, all to yourselves, and you get to ask me questions. You get to have some fun with me. It's a great time, if you ask me. Just wait for chat to catch up. Boy, have I got some things to talk about on this stream. You won't believe it. Don't worry about the thumbnail ancaps. It's not you that I'm referring to when about burning flags. I just like the meme, and I couldn't think of anything to put as the thumbnail. I thought, McNukes, that's funny. So don't get offended, guys. It's not about you. Although there is something that happened to me from an adjacent ant. No, he's not an ANCAP, but he's adjacent to the ANCAPs. He's in the classical liberal thing. But that's neither here nor there. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Just trying to get the stream out to all my bros, so that all the fans know. Better go to market, have ideas, so that everybody else knows that I'm live. There we are. There we are. That should do it. Everybody should be notified now. Also Parler, can't forget that. I don't like Parler, but it's good for as a notifications tool because it apparently reaches everybody. So if you want to know what the reference is in the title, it's Jeff Holiday on the 4th of July decided to be edgy, and he decided to burn the Confederate flag, the one of many Nazi flags, which is very interesting. We'll get into the Nazi flag in a little while, and the Kekistani flag on some beach. I've got the videos actually. We'll probably play them in just a little while. But right now I just want to chill and talk to the chat first and explain the title and things like that. That's why it's called Burning Flags to Own the Kekistanis. Hello Davey, how are you doing? I was waiting for you. Now there is a chat. So that's the reason why there is a title such as that. And I'll talk about somebody blocking me recently, and some funny news in regards to the farmer right. Turns out they're not so right wing, which I thought was hilarious. Jeff has green guilt. He doesn't have green guilt. He has troll's remorse. That's what he has. Oh well, no. He has no remorse. He doesn't care about anything. He has no morals. He has no principles. He has no ideology really that he follows. It's whatever will get in the most clicks, so he can be a successful science channel. Why he's decided to go that route, I don't know, because people that he looks up to, who he apes really, like Miles Power, they don't really jump onto political bandwagons in order to promote their channel, in order to become big. Like, you know, it's mostly about the science with him. He may occasionally broach some politics in his videos, but I guess that's because the science kind of clashes with it, I guess. I don't know. But he's much better than Jeff Holiday. I'd rather you guys watch Miles Power or Potholer than somebody like Jeff Holiday. But I can't imagine what goes through somebody's head to think, yeah, that's edgy, burning the Kekistani flag. What year is this? 2016? I could imagine maybe an SUW doing that at the time, like, oh, I'm going to burn this evil, nasty symbol, which is actually a parody of every single extreme ideology's flag that's ever existed. Oh dear. I mean, he knew back in the day. He was part of it. Remember, he was part of the meme. He was part of that kind of. It almost became a subculture. He was the one who was in that stream with Sargon, and there may have been a few other people who have now gone to the left in that stream. I can't remember. Maybe was it? I'll have to have a look. Who was in that stream? Hang on, Sargon of Akkad, Kekistan. There we are. Well, there's one where he explains it to TJ. Where is that actual stream where they actually announced the meme or something? I can't remember. Where is it? Maybe it got taken offline. Or was it on Jeff Holiday's own channel? Could well have been. Who knows? Oh, come on. Kekistan stream. Because I remember this. Oh well. But it is funny seeing some names here from who are now just complete and utter leftist twats. Oh, that's so funny. Where is that stream? Everybody knows what I'm referring to. Maybe it was on Sargon of Akkad Live. Oh, do I really want to go through the whole thing just to click on something? No, it shouldn't take too long. It was only 3 or 4 years ago. Let's have a look. Zimbabwe coup, chopper rides, update video, BLM kidnapping. That was around the same time, wasn't it? Actually. Twist extras with Jeff Holiday. God, a stream with that guy T and Wizard of Cars. You just wouldn't see that anymore. You just don't see that. EU referendum, Syria, civics. There's some things here that I missed, clearly. Where is this fucking thing? Where is Kekistan? No, it's gone. I can't find the original thing. Maybe it was on his own channel originally. Who cares? It doesn't really matter. 10-hour Shadowlay stream. Was that on his own channel? Yeah, Jeff was on there. Maybe the War Skis. Matt? Well, again, that's just interesting. It has to be around here somewhere. Like, it can't just not disappear. Sargon of Akkad. Right, let's go on his actual. Let's go on his actual account. Or maybe it was on his old channel before the Thinkery. Maybe it was that one. It may not have been on his original one. It may have been on that. Could have been on that, yeah. Maybe that's where I originally found it and nobody saved it because archiving apparently is lost on some people. But don't worry, this is all background information to the videos, alright? I'm just trying to find the stream so I know who was on there. Basically. Oh, come on. It must be here. Surely. It was 10 hours. About 3 or 4 years ago. It has to be here. Doesn't make sense. I think it's probably gone, guys. Oh well. Press F. It was about 4 years ago, wasn't it? 3 or 4. Let's have a look. Islam does not permit homosexuality. Yeah, we know that. Wow, I must have watched about 90% of these videos. Let's have a look. I'll go all the way down to 5 years. If I can't find it, I can't find it. Oh well. Oh yeah, the rationalists. That was a thing, wasn't it? That was a thing. I remember that Getting Right with Dr. Andrew McCann. That was one of the first streams of his that I watched. No, it wasn't. It was one of the maybe the first ones with Random McCann, yeah. But it wasn't the first one I'd seen actually. Nope. It's gone. I think it went with the old channel. What was once I had this weird Latin name, didn't it? It was his gaming channel, wasn't it? It's gone now, yeah. I mean, I could have a look on the Thinkery, maybe, but I don't think it's on there. Because I just need to know who was on that stream back in the day. But I don't think the Thinkery is that old though, if I remember correctly. So it might not be on here. Oh, I missed that stream. Let's have a look. Keep going down. Keep going down. I know you can't see this, guys, but I'll find it. Let's have a look. There may have been people who got added into the stream as well, so I might miss a few people if I find it. 3 years ago, blah 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 blah. Ah, Metal Shadowlay. There, we're getting close, guys. We're getting close. SPLC, Death of Pepe. We're in the right. I'm in the right area, but I just can't find the actual stream. It's Free Kekistan, isn't it, or something like that? Explains Kekistan. BuzzFeed spots the Kekistani people. Unite for Europe. Oh, I can't find it. It's not there. It's a terrorist group. Come on, it's like a 10-hour stream. Where is it? Nah, it's not there anymore, guys. Unfortunately. Oh well, doesn't matter. It was a fun stream while it was around. Maybe there is a mirror somewhere, but we all know he was on there. So when the flag burning starts, let's bring it up right now then, shall we? Okay, let me just get VLC Media or whatever I want to use on. I might end up using the Windows' own just to be quick. Get my downloads. All right, okay, I've got them downloaded in reverse order, but don't worry, guys. Hang on a sec. Is there no sound in this? Oh, I may have accidentally downloaded it with no sound. I did this really quickly. Plus I'm blocked by him, so maybe that's why there's no sound. Or maybe he uploaded it with no sound. I don't know. Alright, first we've got to make sure the window capture works with that. Let's have a look. I'll have to go on my monitor capture then instead. Hang on a sec. Display capture. There we are. You should be able to see it now. There's no sound as far as I can tell. I'm just going to double check that nothing is... There we are. 72. Maybe that should work. Now, are you ready for the most edgiest thing you'll ever see, guys? Are you ready for this? Here it is. Oh, look at him. Oh my god. He's wearing dungarees over body armor, or is it the other way around? What is this? He thinks he's in Antifa or something, but he looks more like he's in a cheap knockoff of Mad Max. This is really bad. What is this? Bear in mind, this is completely serious. This is not only a cleansing of the past. You know, he's doing a Ruin Johnson, let the past die, with the Kekistan flag thing. But he's also saying, this is who I'm against now, even though he was always against things like Nazism. And I actually don't know why he's burning the Confederate flag, considering he's in the West. He's in Oregon. He's nowhere near the South. He's practically as northern as you can get. He's Pacific Northwest, right? Like, what kind of Confederate types are they going to have up there? Even the most conservative Californian is nowhere near as bad as a Dixiecrat, surely. Oh, the state of him. You can tell they had to oil this up. Look, that Kekistan flag goes immediately, but look, oh no, I completely messed it up. Whatever, meh. And then some guy just starts chucking water on it. I bet he thought this was like really good. I bet he thought after he made this, like, yeah, I did good there. Now everybody knows I'm not to be fucked with. Everybody knows that I am the real deal. Jeff Venom Punished Holiday. I'm the real far left freedom fighter. Woe betide thee who dares to cross me. Woo! There's another one actually that I have as well. Hang on a sec. just sort that one out. There we are. Shut up, Windows. Alright, now just put the thing back on. Yeah. Yeah, he decides to piss on it, but it actually makes it worse, I think. Look. like, he's actually not pissing on it by the look of it. You can't tell. The quality's that bad. Why did he do it without lights? He has proper studio lights. I mean, I know he's on sand and everything, but could somebody just not like hold a light so we can actually see properly what he's doing? I can't tell if he's wanking or pissing. What do you guys think he's doing? What do you think he's doing? I don't know what he's doing. Dear God. Oh yeah, he was explaining Kekistani back. Remember, he knows it's satire. He knows it's nowhere near the big racist thing that he would like us to think it is. Hello, Psychopomp. How am I enjoying 2020? Not much really, but yeah, there's a flag burning, guys. He's so edgy. Look, you know, he's in his body armor, which is probably not going to protect him even from a kitchen knife, let alone a bullet. Not that he would ever get into a fight. Where was he when all the statues was going down? What was he doing? He wasn't in the crowd. He wasn't risking life and limb. He wasn't risking coronavirus to attack the white supremacist, systemic racist patriarchy now, was he? No, he was at home. He was at home listening to Memory, having fun with the girls, if you know what I mean, if you catch my drift. That's what he was doing. You didn't see him out there in the front lines with the Zoomers, with BLM, who he supports, with Antifa, who he totally endorses. It's totally not something he does for attention and to gain just people to watch his shitty wingnut roundups and science videos that about 100 other channels do better. Totally not. Yeah, in hindsight, you dodged a bullet, British Knight. You dodged a bullet. I'm glad he's blocked me for one thing, because I don't need to see that guy in my life anymore, to be honest. He was never really a friend, because I don't know if anybody knows this, but me and Jeff Holiday used to be friends. And to be honest, I wouldn't mind him being a left-wing friend if he wasn't such a massive arsehole. And the problem is, he threw every one of us under the bus. As soon as he got on Dr. Phil, as soon as he got a modicum of success on YouTube, he quickly abandoned all of us. And it wasn't the only one. Wizard of Cause was another. But he had his own weird, I would say selfish, petty reasons for going down the route that he's gone down. Like it's pretty obviously about money. He blamed Sargon for him losing patrons, which it wasn't even Sargon's fault. If Sargon wasn't removed from Patreon, people wouldn't have left in protest, right? And yeah, that meant leaving creators that they wanted to support. And, you know, I ended up actually deleting my Patreon for a bit in protest. No, Psychopomp, this is what happens when a fame-hungry whore decides to try and gain clout. That's all it is. This isn't like a massive political statement by the DNC or anything, Psycho. This is a Jeff Holiday saying, "Look at me, I'm woke." Yeah, Britishers should disavow Sophane, as should Dankula, because Sophane nowadays hasn't got a good bone in his body. The man is the complete opposite of what he was barely, God, 2 years ago? When was it that he actually properly went left and woke and became an insufferable arsehole? Like, the guy used to be legitimately funny and chill, and now the guy just, he has to stick up his ass constantly. What happened? I just don't know. I just don't know, guys. I wish I knew. I wish I knew. It wasn't Sargon who caught him on Kraut's server. It was The Guardian, wasn't it? But that's the thing, like, he was engaged, he pretended like he wasn't engaged with all that. He was just like, oh, I'm just there for the science and the community, bro. Then it came out that actually, yeah, he was well involved with the stuff with all that, and that's why he got the nickname Doc's Holiday. That whole Kraut thing really just changed a lot of people. Like, even Woz Lee changed as a result of that. He actually didn't do anything wrong. I will always be consistent on this and say Woz Lee did nothing wrong. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But the thing is, there were loads of people in there. I think even Academic Agent was in there at one point. I think maybe, but he was. But he didn't go well. He he went crazy in a different way. But he didn't disavow all his mates, and nobody disavowed him because he explained where he was at, and everybody was like, yeah, sure. I think Woz Lee had no reason to disavow all of us. I remember like when he unfollowed me on Twitter and disavowed me. He didn't do it publicly, really, but I'd literally, it felt like a few months ago. Before that, a few months before that, or at least a month. It wasn't that long. We literally just played video games as if nothing was wrong. Hasn't Jeff tried to kiss up to Dank on Twitter? No, I don't think so. He has tried occasionally to try and get people to his side. But yeah, maybe there was a blip. I don't know. I remember before he blocked me, he was like saying, "Oh, you're a good kid. You're a good kid," even though I'm 26 years old. This is what I don't like. It's the patronising tone of a lot of these people. Oh, you're a good kid. You're a good kid, Mitch. You're good. You just been led astray by Sargon, as if I can't think for myself. As if I didn't come to the conclusions that I got to through my own willpower, my own brain power. No, it had to be somebody else, didn't it? I have to be the kid that doesn't know what he's thinking, even though I'm in that age range. I'm in the age bracket where I probably ought not to be like that. But that's what they do. That's the thing. I probably shouldn't go too personal, but they've always thought of me like that. I don't know why. They just do. The dude's got spooked by freaking 4chan. No, he was in on it, Psycho. He wasn't spooked by 4chan. Okay, Pirate. Honestly, there are only a handful of the anti-SJW YouTubers I even still watch. Yeah, well, most of us aren't around anymore. For whatever reason. Some people have, real life caught up and they simply couldn't keep on doing what they're doing, which is fair enough. Others went the Jeff route. Others dropped off the face of the earth, and others got, deplatformed, But there was never really a community or anything of the sort, like a lot of people claim. So I was watching Megan's video recently, and about Andy Warski, and I thought he was being really charitable. Like, oh, he felt betrayed by the community, but no. Kraut was one person with his own group of friends and academics who didn't respond. What else was there that he may have been betrayed by? There was a few other people, I think. Oh yeah, there was Kilroy, but that was only a small group of people in the end, wasn't it? It wasn't everybody. It was only Based Mama, Sister Danger, Mundane. Well, Monday Matt didn't organise it, but he was part of the people defending it, as was Jeff Holiday, funnily enough. But it wasn't everybody. How can a few people who you have a beef with mean that everybody has betrayed you? I mean, I'm not saying that Omegan thinks that for himself. I mean, that's what I think. This is maybe Andy's. He was trying to express Andy's point of view, but I don't know. Doesn't make sense. Kraut is not based, Libraven. Kraut is a lunatic who comes to the wrong conclusions. It's not the wrong. Well, he does come to the wrong conclusions, but he starts with a conclusion, then he has to twist and warp his way to get to said conclusion. To quote Oozlu when I was talking to him recently. If you think Kraut is based, you need to honestly check with yourself, Lib. The guy is an absolute hack. The guy. I don't know if he honestly believes any of the stuff he says. It's propaganda. That's all it is, Lib Raven. And if you fall for that, well, that's your that's on you. It's not on me. His content's awful. It's never been that good. Yes, he is a lunatic, Lib Raven. Yes, he's absolutely crazy. Have you seen him interact with me? Have you seen him interact with people like Uzulu and who else? oh, I'm trying to think of other people now who he doesn't like. Scrump, did you not see that? I don't care about his China video, Libraven, and there's probably about 100 videos better than that. I've seen all his other stuff. It's nowhere near as good as anybody else. See, everybody comes up with that China video. It's like, no. No. And I bet the same reasoning that he did in that video is there in... I bet that same stuff that I mentioned with the twisting and turning to each conclusion is in that video. Yeah, it doesn't take a lot to be based on China, and besides, he's really propagandizing the same things that they have over there for us. Like, he's no better than the Chinese communists at this point. Unfortunately, guys. Like, oh yeah, I don't like China, but I want the exact same thing that they have over here. This is why I'm on the side of BreadTube and all that. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense, does it? His most recent content is nothing but like anti-ball stuff. Like, who cares? You don't know the guy, Libraven. I do. He's an absolute lunatic. He's practically... He comes across as mentally ill. And when you next see him appear on Twitter randomly and start atting me and Scrump and Oozaloo and whoever it is that he has beef with, you'll see how crazy he is. You'll see it. Oh, speaking of crazy people, although I don't know if this guy's necessarily crazy, but he does have TDS. Has anybody heard of the Twitter account of taking Hayek seriously? This guy is like a Hayekian, obviously, and I found him randomly on Twitter, and I was like, hey, I like this account. He tweets some decent stuff, and he has a lot of academic articles, and he was posting a lot of Hayek stuff that I haven't read yet, and I thought, hey, I like this. So anyway, I followed him for a couple of months, and then he said something stupid, or at least something that I disagreed with. It probably wasn't stupid, but it's just wrong. He made this tweet about critical theory, and he said that critical theory is bad. Yeah, it's bad, it's pretty crap. And he said that it was influenced by, there's a third person, but one of them was Hegel. I haven't read Hegel yet, so I can't comment on that. But then he said Nietzsche, and I thought, hang on a sec, that doesn't make sense. I've read 2 books of his, Twilight of the Idols, which I'm reading again, and I've read Beyond Good and Evil. I had to look at it then. I've read nowhere in those books have I seen anything remotely like critical theory. Yes, Kraut, he does have a hate bone for Aiden, and yes, she is also crazy. Now, the thing with taking high, I took issue with this, but I was nice. I said, that's weird. I've read Nietzsche, but I didn't see that. He doesn't come across as much of a leftist because critical theory is more of a left wing thing. But again, it actually originally, from what I can gather, it was originally just a way to critique things, right? If I remember correctly, that's what it was originally. And the people who originally came up with it kind of disavow it now. But I thought, well, that doesn't make sense. And like literally, I think the day before yesterday, I was reading the book, and it may have been actually when I first was reading it a couple more days ago. He said that truth comes from the senses or something like that. That we should trust our senses. He wasn't exactly an empiricist, but he believed in that kind of stuff, basically. That the senses are to be trusted, and that you can't just rely purely on a priori and things like that. And he mentions in the book that psychologists should be wary to observe for this. I'm going to paraphrase it. They should be wary of observing for observing's sake. Was it something like that? Let me just get this up. I need to get the Nietzsche observe quote. I forgot what it was. There it is. No, that's not it. That's not the quote. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to fish it out or anything. But basically, you're observing for observing's sake. You're trying to see what you want to see. You got to be careful with that. Basically, he was talking to psychologists. Although sometimes he says words, but they mean things other than what they appear. But it doesn't really matter. So anyway, I say these things, and then Hayek, taking Hayek seriously, like, oh, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're on about, you know nothing. You know, he had no grounding for truth. Therefore, he influenced critical theory, because critical theory tries to deny facts and truth because it's postmodernist. And I'm like, no, he doesn't deny truth. Just the way he views truth is different than pretty much every philosopher. Because this is the thing, I had to double check this on, I had to look up some essays that I'd read about Nietzsche, and basically, he believed in truth, but he grounded it more on the, actually, I think we're dropping some frames. Yes, we are dropping frames. I noticed a few issues, guys. Hang on a sec, let me sort this out. I might just get rid of Discord as well. Hang on a sec, guys. Bloody hell, it's about as low as I can get it. No, well, nothing I can do about that, I'm afraid. But anyway, he says there's no grounding in truth, blah, 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 blah. And then I say, well, hang on a sec. He does have a grounding. It's more based on the individual. The individual kind of has to... It's not relativistic, but basically the individual has to use his own ways of trying to find it. And it's not, strictly speaking, absolute or relative or objective or subjective. Yeah, no, it's a bit confusing. I don't know if Nietzsche really succeeded in what he was trying to do, because he was just trying to get above all these, I guess you call it a binary concept. Like, that's what he was trying to do, and I can applaud that. He was trying to get to the truth via other means, but unfortunately, I don't think it worked out the way that he expected it to. And there's been this big debate over what he thought about truth. I mean, again, if he didn't believe in truth, he wouldn't be a philosopher, would he? Why would he release the books that he wrote if he didn't think that what he was saying is the truth to a person, And then he also said that, he believed that we were oppressed by false ideology. I don't think he, strictly speaking, said we were oppressed. I think he would have said we were more degenerated by it, which is not the same as oppressed, really. More like, we could be better if we didn't believe in all these things, which go against reality and go against our instincts and passions and stuff like that. So I just say all these things as much as I can on Twitter, and he just keeps saying, you don't know what you're on about, you know nothing. And I'm like, that's not an argument, mate. And he goes, I'm not arguing with you, I'm just telling you. I'm like, well, you're just being a cunt. This isn't how you argue with somebody. I'm not even trying to be nasty to you. And then he says, I studied Nietzsche with an academic who's an expert on Nietzsche. Well, apparently not, if he thinks he doesn't believe in truth. Because even Nietzsche says he believes in it. Again, I read the source. I didn't read other people saying things about him. And then I unfollowed him because I thought, well, I'm not dealing with this behaviour from this guy who thinks he knows better, who thinks he's as above everybody because he knows academics. It's a bit like Kraut, actually, in that sense. And then next thing I know, he's blocked me anyway. He didn't need to block me. I already done most of the work for him. Oh, I see you're all talking about crazy Aiden, are you? Oh my god. Seriously? So what's this? She's manipulated her way through several boyfriends, all the while her physical and mental health has declined. Well, mental health, yes. Physically, she's probably doing a lot better than she was. At least when she was last with her ex. Her newest ex. He actually helped her. He's one of my friends. She didn't really have a wall to hit, Richard, to be honest. Yeah, she briefly moved to not Jersey. Was it Jersey? Guernsey. Yeah, she moved to Guernsey. She wanted to meet up with me. She told me that before we fell out. Well, actually, we did fall out that day when she told me that. I was like, no, I don't want to see you. Yeah, I know her real name. I'm not going to say it. Speaking of philosophy, I've been reading up the Stoics. I prefer the Epicureans to the Stoics. Because the Stoics are kind of fatalistic, whereas the Epicureans are a lot more positive. And I'm all about staying away from that black pill. Not to say that Stoics are black pilled. It's just that resigned to death and all that. Nothing you can do. It's all about the next life and things like that. Well, the Epicureans like, there is this world you can improve and improve yourself upon. There's no need to fear it. You don't need to be fatalistic about it. It's fine. Relax. Enjoy the pleasures of life. I prefer that. That's just my opinion. Stoics are a bit too depressing for me. Epicurus is my boy when it comes to Greek philosophy, apart from Aristotle. Although I'm not an Aristotelian, but I'm closer to him than I am to Plato. That's all I'll say on the matter. By the way, British Knight, how goes the newest video that you've been researching? Which book are you on yet? Are you still finishing Plato? Women seem to be getting anxious and closeted about what? I don't know. Surely it's I don't know what you're on about there, Davey. So what else was I going to talk about today? Oh yes, I almost forgot. Yeah, there is no God and there is no next life, but that doesn't mean you can't enjoy Earth. I don't know. Yeah, defeatism. Yeah, British Knight, you're right. Epicureanism is the complete opposite. But what was I gonna? Yeah, anyway, I need to remember. So anyway, everybody's heard of Morgoth, right? Everybody's heard of everybody's heard of what AA would call the farmer, right? Which is a good term. Although it turns out it's misleading, but not on purpose, by accident actually. Let me just see if I can find the thing that I need to find from Morgoth. Hang on a sec. Here we are. Hang on a sec. Let me just put this in a tab. This is honestly the funniest thing I've seen all day. So these people like to pride themselves in being far right, you know. These are the people that are out there saving, you know, the white race and all that, and how they're so totally not degenerate, and that the classical liberals will inevitably lead to communism and all that, right, guys? You know, you know the thing. You know that the age-old thing that they like to say. Well, it turns out, actually, that's projection. Let's see. Because, oh dear, Morgoth. Oh dear, what's this? What is this? Basically communism. That feeling when you are so far right that you're actually far left. The thing is, this isn't even the horseshoe. This isn't horseshoe theory. This is just where he is. This is just what they are. This is what they've always been. And this is confirmation of it. Surely, all those videos that Tick History has done about this topic, and he's been proven right by one dude from like Newcastle or wherever he's from. He could be from Sunderland. I don't know. He's from the northeast. And they all say that, oh, well, you know, we're more right wing than the libertarians are, blah 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 blah, and stuff like that. You know what they're like. You know what they like to boast about, and how the current system we're in will lead to more and more of it. Well, it turns out they'll lead more towards it. In fact, they will institute it. Oh, the irony. Oh, it just reminded me of the prequels when the Emperor, well, he's not the Emperor yet, he's talking about Plagueis, and he goes, it's ironic. Turns out the true commies are people like Morgoth. So you know what that means, right? That means that he too gets a free ride on the helicopter. Well, he was always going to get one anyway. Script is well on its way. I'm well into Plato's Republic. Nearly finished. Well, I've nearly finished Twilight of the Idols. I could have finished it in one day, but I read at night when I'm tired. Also, I was arguing with Makuta Pterodax on Twitter about Catholicism, because he has this weird belief that Protestantism leads to leftism, which makes no sense. Because how do you go from Luther to Marx? I don't know. Well, I don't know. AJP Taylor mentioned it in that way, but not in terms of ideology. More in terms of becoming more and more extreme. You know, becoming more totalitarian, basically. I mean, it's in the name psychopomp, isn't it? They weren't lying when they called themselves. Well, not Stirner. What was he called again? I forgot what the original founder of the party was, but I forgot his name. I always forget his name. He got purged, didn't he? But Yeah, the clue's in the name. They don't even pretend British Knight. One of them even said in one of the comments that we've been told so. I think this is coping anyway. Bear in mind, I think this is. I'll get back to the William of Orange did nothing wrong. It's coping British Knight. That's what it is. One of them was saying that we've been told we are for so long that we believed it. No. That's not the case at all. You just literally think you are when you're not. You don't know anything about politics. You know nothing about philosophy. You regurgitate things that you've been told, but you don't actually understand it. You know, it's those people who read. They can read a text, but they don't actually understand the text. And that's a lot of people, believe it or not. But anyway, Makuta Pterodax was saying that Catholicism leads to basically communism. I mean, not Catholicism. I mean, Protestantism leads to communism. Although I actually do think Catholicism does lead to that, but I'll get into it. Why? I don't know. The Whigs, apparently. The Whigs were left-wing, apparently. Even though in the 1680s there was no such thing as a left or right. Like, they would not have... that would have been completely alien to Hobbes and Locke and all those people. They would have been... What are you on about? What do you mean left or right? I'm right-handed. That's what they would be thinking, right? He doesn't give me a philosophical basis towards it. It's just England became more socialistic, and we're a Protestant country. Ergo, Protestantism leads to that. And then he mentioned Marx, but Marx wasn't a Protestant. Actually, what denomination did his dad actually? I think his dad became a Lutheran, maybe, but Germany is overwhelmingly Catholic anyway, and even the modern day Germany is led by the Catholic Party, the Catholic centrist Centre Party, and look how they've turned out, very left wing. Anyway, let's have a look. Marx. I have to go on Wikipedia for this. I don't like Wikipedia, but oh well, it is what it is. Province of Lower Rhine, ethnically but not religiously Jewish. Maternal dad was a rabbi. Blah 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 blah. Judaism to the state evangelical church. Alright, so basically, what's the evangelical church of Prussia? Is that like a Lutheran thing? Is it a Calvinist thing? I don't know. It could just be like the Church of England, so Catholic light. That's if it'll bloody load. Here we are. Obviously Protestant, yeah. Let's have a look. Merger of Lutheran and Reformed. Okay. But he himself was not Protestant, though. He was an atheist. Or at least became an atheist. And that doesn't mean he always believed in it. But then you can argue that Judaism leads to communism then, right? Because he still would have had some influences, right? Surely. As much as he would deny that and not like that, surely that stuff would have influenced him to some degree, but I don't know. But then I mentioned to him, well, Spain, Italy, Germany, France, all Catholic countries, all went progressively that way. Yeah, he knows that, British Knight. He knows that the Liberal Party for a long time was classical liberal libertarian, yeah. Yeah, Karl Marx did endorse slavery, yeah. Now, we all love Makuta Pterodax, and I know I'm calling him out in public, but it's just, I've got nothing to talk about, so let's just talk about my many meme-ish arguments. Yeah, he ended up arguing with somebody that I know in real life, and I was really embarrassed, because I didn't know that guy was following me still. But, like, again, Spain, the Republic in the 1930s, that was a left-wing republic. It wasn't all commies and anarchists as Antifa would like you to believe. It was like Labour, basically. Labour of the 30s, that's what it was. France, for example, socialism came from France. It was born out of the French Revolution. Rousseau was, I guess you could argue, on the left. And what else? Socialism came from there. Yeah, that's mainly it. And then, obviously, in Spain, then it became the Falangist regime, which is like fascism, left wing. And then what else? Italy, Mussolini. From the horse's mouth, it's himself. He would not consider himself right wing. The complete decay was that without slavery, North America, the most progressive of countries, would be transformed into a patriarchal country. Wipe out North America from the map of the world, and you will have anarchy, the complete decay of modern commerce and civilization. Abolish slavery, and you'll write America off the map of nations. What an absolutely terrible take from Marx. The poverty of philosophy. I think I might have that actually. Is that in the German ideology? That might be actually in the German ideology. I might have to read that at some point. But it's interesting that, isn't it? Meanwhile, he lives in London. He might have written. Actually, he didn't read that when he was in London. But meanwhile, he moved to London, in the place that had already outlawed slavery in 1807 and 1833, and was the richest country in the world. Engels was a factory owner, or rather worked for his dad, who was a factory owner, and he's writing books about how the factories oppress and exploit the workers. Meanwhile, he's doing that very same thing and made a lot of money off it, to the point he actually could retire early and still pay for Marx for the rest of his life. But apparently it's okay when he does it. But again, apparently it's Protestantism. Even though people like Max Weber and all that have recognised that actually the Protestant work ethic leads to the opposite. It leads to capitalism, if you believe that thesis. I have my own reasons. I have my own ideas about what caused all that stuff. But yeah. Oh yeah, and then today I found some stupid Celtic memes. The United Celtic Country, or whatever it's called. What do they call it? The National Celtic Union? Like, do these people not know that their idea of Celtic comes from the 19th century? Excuse me. And that none of these peoples that they refer to are the same Celts that came from Central Europe. I think they came from France and... Actually, no, I think the Celts originally come from Germany. Somewhere around Germany, Switzerland area. And then moved into France, and then obviously crossed into the British Isles. Like, the people of Brittany, the people of the Basque Country, Scotland, even Ireland, people like that, they're not actually true blood Celts, or even have the same culture as the Celts would have had back in Roman times. It's a 19th century invention to basically become something other than the English. It's a Jacobite invention, that's what it is. And interestingly, you had this map of what the kingdom or the country would look like, and half of it's English. so like the whole of Cumbria is for some reason Celtic, even though the original inhabitants speak a dialect of English which has more Norse elements in it than Celt. In fact, there's hardly any Celtic stuff in it. Ironically, maybe the people would be considered genetically Celtic because of the way it works. The more west you go, the more Celtic people are in England. But you talk to any of these people in Western England, they don't consider themselves like the Welsh or the Scots. They're English. They consider themselves English. Like, it's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. Are the Welsh technically Celts? You could argue they're Romans more than they are Celts, right? By that logic. What's uniquely Celtic about them? Nothing. It's funny because the stereotype is that of somebody who's Irish or Scottish, right? When you look at all the memes, Welsh people don't look like that, nor do they sound like it. In fact, I don't know. It's just a meme, I know, but some people seriously are like that. Celtic nationalists. Silly people. Also, somebody said on Twitter to me that Cornwall considered themselves completely different to the Celts and the English, apparently, which is very interesting. Apparently, they're more like the Bretons. So I guess even the Bretons don't consider themselves part of this Celtic ethno-state or whatever. I find it funny as hell that Karl Marx hated the Russians. Oh yeah, irony is indeed a cruel mistress. I was actually reading this book called The Revolt of the Masses by Jose Ortega y Gasset. He's like this Spanish. I don't know what he is. He's listed as an existentialist, but I don't know if he really is. But he came up with this concept called the mass man, and he actually mentions that about Russia and Marxism and stuff like that. But the mass man, I think we'll end the stream in a couple minutes. Actually, I wanted to keep this brief anyway. The mass man is not what you think. It is not the working class. The mass man can be working class, upper class, middle class, everything in between. It's not a class thing. It's a type of person. A mass man is basically the most. It's like he's the personification of mediocre. It's like the most middle of the road person you can imagine, and he says these are the people that are usually the ones that are being led. He's a bit of an elitist, in case you can't tell. And these are the people that usually would defer to other people who are considered a bit more unique, a bit more talented than they are to lead and do things. That doesn't mean that mass men can't lead or anything like that. But he says that in the 20th century, things, especially in the 19th century, things shifted, and the mass man decided, hang on, I can rule. I'm better than these people. And he says when they rule, they become authoritarian, and because they want everybody to be the same. They want everybody to be as mediocre and as similar to as they are. Which sounds a bit familiar, doesn't it, guys? Who are the types of people that exhibit those kinds of traits? Who want complete conformity and want everything to be mediocre. There can be no spikes of talent and people doing better than others. It's very interesting, isn't it? Now, I mean, throughout the book, there's some good arguments, but his analogies are terrible. So when he's discussing like the origin of the state at one point, and he talks about capitalism, and he said that gunpowder apparently was a middle class invention, which is not true. Again, he's a product of his time, so a lot of this history he got from Victorians, not strictly English ones, but just European ones. So a lot of their sources were wrong. He thought it was invented by the middle class in Europe, by the sounds of it. It was actually invented most likely by the upper classes in China. But in Europe, people say it came from the priestly class. It was, what was he called? Moore? I think he was called. Who knows? It's hard to say, but and he said that it was gunpowder that allowed the bourgeoisie to beat the nobles, which is not true, because gunpowder was a very expensive thing back in the day, and who could afford all that stuff? The nobles. And another thing was he says nothing can be more personified in this switch from aristocracy and nobility and absolute monarchy. Excuse me, guys. Than my throat's getting raspy. Than the knights versus people armed with handguns, like arquebuses and things like that. The knights clad in iron, they couldn't barely move, which is again bollocks. Because if you've seen anybody in a suit of armour, they can move as much as you can. Obviously, they're going to tire out quickly because it's iron, it's steel. But you can totally move and roll and do everything you can normally in a suit of armour. But again, that's his silly historical analogies that make no sense. If he'd used a different analogy, maybe it would have worked, because the argument itself was not wrong. But I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. I mean, I was thinking about making a review of that book, but I'll have to read it again to see if I missed anything. Because if I'm going to review a book, I'm not going to just read it once and then give you a crappy review. Oh yes, Psychopomp, I know. I've actually got some things about that I need to respond to. Trust me, I know they care more about politics than they do the facts of history. When I was doing my masters, it was nothing but talk about Brexit, and I'm like, I'm just here to learn about history. I don't care about what's going on right now. If I wanted to talk about what's going on now, I would have gone to philosophy or politics or sociology. I wouldn't have gone to history. Actually, to be honest, a lot of the lectures were more like linguistics and philosophy and sociology than actually history. I didn't learn a single thing about history the entire time I was doing my masters. Oh yeah, they do that a lot. Recently, there was this Guardian article that came out by this Charlotte Lydia Riley. I have no idea who she is. I don't know if she's an historian. She says she's an historian. Well, I might as well look her up quickly before I leave. Who is this woman? Who's this so-called historian? Oh, of course she is. Why am I not surprised? Oh dear, she's exactly the type that I expected her to be. She says, "Don't worry about rewriting history. It's literally what we historians do." No, we don't rewrite history. We expand upon it. We find out new facts, and we discard the ones that are no longer facts because they've been proven wrong. That's not rewriting history. That's learning, uncovering more. But I don't know. Rewriting history is what Orwell talks about in 1984, and she knows that. Or at least she should know that. Yeah, everything is not political, but again, this is the second wave. It's the second wave feminist thing of the personal is political. But anyway, I think I've been going on long enough. 55 minutes is good. I've got stuff I need to do around the house. So, anyway, have fun now, y'all. Have a good time. Press F for Bob Ross in the chat because it's the anniversary of his death today. And I hope the Americans had a good treason day. Until next time, I'll see you all later.